Listen to songs in Spanish, they say.
Solo mi Dios, quiéreme menos que me estás volviendo loca. Y eso a mí me choca, como tú me adoras.
If you do that long enough, you'll learn Spanish after some time, they say.
Quiéreme menos porque esta felicidad le tengo miedo, no me lo creo. Tanto cariño me puede causar.
But when? Well, today we take a deep dive into 3 key components that are found in many Spanish songs that can help you gain a deeper understanding of the structure of the language. So let's find out what they are. In this first episode of a 2-part series, we're going to use Natti Natasha's new song, Quiéreme Menos, to learn a familiar concept that can be used in daily conversations. Pero mira, don't tap out yet. We're only focusing on the chorus because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Y yo tengo un plan para nosotros. So in this video, we're diving into why querer was used instead of another verb, and we're also going to take a look at how Natti uses querer in this new song, as well as what are the rules for tildes y combinando palabras como quiéreme. Oh, by the way, if you're joining me for the first time, soy Profe Don Amar, and I've been teaching Spanish for over 23 years. And if you want to find out some of the easiest and most effective ways to learn Spanish, you've come to the right place. So be sure to subscribe to the channel so you get unlimited access to developing your Spanish language skill. Now, let's get back to today's lesson. Okay, ahora tenemos la primera lección. Why is querer being used and not amar? Right? So we know the 2 words in Espanol, but there's a little bit more that we need to talk about when it comes to querer. And we're not going to go too deep into this rabbit hole about querer, but let's find out the differences between the 2. In Espanol, there is a subtle difference, una diferencia sutil, pero importante entre los verbos querer y amar, but it's very important between these 2 verbs. Entonces aquí tenemos la definición del verbo querer. Mira, querer se usa a menudo para expresar un cariño o afecto que puede ser menos intenso que amar. Se usa en una variedad de contextos, desde amistades hasta relaciones románticas. En inglés, essentially, we're saying that a person uses querer often to express an affection that can be not as intense as using the word amar. A person can use querer in a variety of contexts, from friendships all the way up into romantic relationships. A lot of people like me in their beginning stages of learning Spanish, if you looked at this verb, quiéreme, you would have thought, hey, this means want me less. So we got to find out all the meanings, todos los sentidos del verbo querer. Tenemos 3 sentidos del verbo querer. We've got 3 meanings for the verb querer. El primer sentido, to want, el uso más común para expresar deseos o necesidades. The most common use of the verb querer to express desires or necessities. El segundo sentido del verbo querer, to love, and this is the one that Natti uses en la canción. Este uso es común en relaciones menos formales o intensas. Y el último sentido, querer significa to like or to care about. Now, this is not to like we learn con el verbo gustar. Let's take a look. Querer significa to like or to care about, aunque este uso es menos común y depende del contexto. Even though querer can mean to like or to care about, this use is not as common, and it depends on the context of the conversation that you are having con otra persona. Y amar, en cambio, se reserva para un amor más profundo y apasionado. So essentially, amar, on the other hand, is reserved for a love that's passionate and deep. Really deep. Entonces, en la canción, Natti usa quiéreme menos en lugar de ámame menos para reflejar un amor que no necesita ser extremadamente apasionado, sino más genuino y constante. Natti chose to use quiéreme menos instead of ámame menos because she wanted to reflect a love that didn't need to be extremely passionate, but more genuine and constant. Okay, in lección número 2, we're talking about how did Natti use the word querer in the title and in the chorus. In the song Quiéreme Menos by Nati, she uses the verb quiéreme as an affirmative informal command. Now let's take a look at an example from the song of an affirmative informal command.
Quiéreme menos que me estás volviendo loca. Quiéreme menos porque esta felicidad.
Aquí Nati está pidiendo que la ame menos. Quiéreme se usa como un mandato afirmativo para decir love me in inglés. Nati is asking that she be loved less. Quiéreme is used as an affirmative informal command in order to say love me. En español, los mandatos afirmativos se utilizan para dar instrucciones o órdenes directas. Vamos a ver los pasos para formar un mandato afirmativo con la forma de tú usando el verbo querer. Ok, entonces vamos a empezar aquí con el verbo querer en la forma original, el infinitivo. Y el primer paso, cambiar o conjugar el verbo querer en la forma de tú. Por eso tenemos quieres. En el segundo paso, vamos a quitar la S de la forma de tú. Entonces ahora tenemos quiere. Y el último paso, añade un pronombre y una tilde. Pero entonces vamos a cubrir esa información en la próxima diapositiva. Aquí tenemos escuchar, primer paso, la forma de tú. ¿Cuál es el último paso? Quita la S. Entonces tenemos la respuesta. Now, in inglés, essentially what we have here are all of our infinitives that we're using as examples. All right. Remember, the first step is to put it in the to form, right? In the to form of the verb, because we're talking to a person, right? You're talking to a person, or you're giving this instruction or this direct instruction or this command to another person. It's informal. So you're talking to somebody that's either same age as you, younger than you, somebody you've known for a while. You have some type of rapport with them, right? So the first thing is we want to put it in the to form. The next thing, to make the command, we simply drop the S. So let me know what your answers are in the comments below for these 5 verbs here. Escuchar, ayudar, escribir, compartir, y seguir. Now, the thing is this. Do we need to know what these verbs are? Absolutely not. It's the process that you're supposed to be following. Trust the process, right? It doesn't matter whether you know the verbs or not. Do you know how to do this step? So if you are a true beginner and you're like, I don't know what these words mean, doesn't matter. Can you follow the steps to make a command? All right. Because if you can do that, that's one of the lessons that you can learn early on, and it can be beneficial in the end. You can always go back and learn these words. That's not going to be a problem. So now we find ourselves right here at the very beginning of the video, or the song here, Quiéreme Menos. And of course, we're looking at it like, okay, tenemos una tilde. Tenemos la palabra me, a fin de la palabra quiere. All right, so what's going on right there, right? So we've got the accent mark. We've got the word me at the end of quiere. And we're trying to figure out what does all that mean. Y entonces tenemos los pasos para esa parte ahora. And here we've got the steps now for you to check out. So essentially we're looking at pero, la tilde, y la palabra me, ¿cómo? Right? ¿Por qué? Right? How? Why? Why are we using this? Let's take a look. Cuando se añade un objeto directo a mandato afirmativo, se coloca al final del verbo y se añade una tilde para mantener la acentuación correcta. Por eso, quiere se convierte en quiéreme, que significa love me. Por eso tenemos quiéreme. But let's dive deeper in. When you add a direct object to the end of a command, to an affirmative command, right? That's key. That's going to be key, because when you talk about negative commands, we do a totally different thing. If you don't really understand what I'm talking about when I say an affirmative command, think of it from a positive standpoint. Like if I say eat your vegetables, right? Wash the dog, right? It may not be, the action may be something that you're like, oh my God, I don't want to do it. But it's a positive command, as opposed to like, don't eat food off the floor, right? That's going to be a negative command. So that's the difference when we talk about positive or affirmative commands. Now, we're going to take that direct object, objeto directo. What are we talking about when we say that? That always answers the question, who or what. So in this case, love me less is the name of the song, right? Love me less, quiéreme menos. Who do you want to love less? Once we get that direct object, we're going to place it at the end of the command, quiere, right? Quiere is your command, love, quiéreme. But the most important thing from what we said there was you have to add in a tilde or an accent mark on the correct stressed vowel so that you can maintain the correct stress on the verb or on the sound of the verb. And we're going to take a look at that right here. So just so you can check your answers here, aquí tenemos los mandatos afirmativos. Escucha, ayuda, escribe, comparte, sigue. But we want to take it a step further. Let's take our objeto directo, me, right, from the title, quiéreme menos. We're going to use me. Can we attach it to some of these here? Let's see. All right. Escucha, escúchame, right? And of course, you're going to need to know where the accent place will be marked. But after I show you the trick that I use on where to put the accent mark, you can tell me in the comment section where the accent mark should go when you add me on the end of these words. So we've got escúchame, ayúdame, escríbeme, comparte. We're not going to really put me on the end of that one, but comparte as a command. And then sígueme, listen to me, help me, write me. The very last one, sígueme, follow me. Let's find out where that tilde goes with quiéreme. Ok, aquí tenemos el verbo quiere, significa love, ¿verdad? Y después de eso tenemos love who, love me, objeto directo, me, right? So quiéreme, we put it together. Vamos a combinar las palabras. Quiere me, right? Quiéreme. We have to figure out dónde se pone la tilde. Where does one put the accent mark so that everything still flows like it's supposed to flow? Quiéreme, right? So we break it down by syllable. We've got quiéreme, quiéreme, right? Quiéreme. So my rule is this. You always start at the very end, the command, quiéreme, right? So the very end would be me. Go to the very end, X marks the spot. I always remember that. I always say that. So that tells me where I'm starting at, which is the very end of the word, me. And then I'm going to count back 2 syllables, right? 1, 2. Going back 2 there, that's going to put me on right? So that is the vowel that's going to get the accent mark. It works with any direct object in a command. You always go to the end and count back 2. That's the simple way that I've done it. It's always worked. It never fails. Entonces tenemos quiéreme menos. Today's Profade Power Tip is this. In the beginning stages, when you're starting to listen to music in Espanol, don't hesitate to listen and read the lyrics at the same time. That's going to be a game changer for your retention and for those karaoke nights when you bust out a song in Espanol. But before we land this plane, let me know in the comment section below, how do you plan to use mandatos afirmativos en tu vida diaria? Let me know, how do you plan to use affirmative commands in your daily life? Put it in the comment section below. On another note, I want to thank you personally for hanging out with me in the video. And if you gained value from today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, like it, but more importantly, I want you to share this video with someone you think may need it. That would mean the world to me, and I know they will appreciate you helping them to improve their Spanish skills. So let's face it, listening to songs in Spanish without understanding why an artist says what they say in a song is pretty much pointless. Just saying. I mean, but why not get something productive out of the listening experience, right? Pero espérate. I'm not saying take all of the fun out of listening to music in Espanol. No. How did Tumbo say? No. I'm not saying take all the fun out of listening to Spanish music or listening to music in Espanol. Not at all. But I am saying set aside some time to listen to music with an active ear as opposed to just listening to music passively. So essentially set aside some time so that you can listen actively, so that you can catch on to sentence structure to stack your learning experience. So if you have mandatos informales down and you want to learn about mandatos negativos, click right here and I'll see you over there.